Hello, everybody. My name is Rodrigo, and I worry a lot. But this was really complicated a couple years ago when I was working for a TV company. I was the general producer. And that sounds really nice when you are 23 years old. But the problem was that I was worrying all the time. I was worrying about the budget, my boss, the time that I didn't have for my family. And my mind was worrying 24/7 as a way to kind of prevent bad things from happening. And that was really, really exhausting.
Hi guys, my name is Rinat and I'm pretty anxious. My anxiety hit a peak about 5 years ago when I was leading the product of a very successful startup company in Israel. My boss at the time was sure that over-demanding and shouting was a really motivating tool. Being a hypersensitive person, this did not do me well at all. And I had constant chest pains and nausea and just worrying all the time that something horrible was about to happen. One day, I got into my car like every day and drove to work, where my body started shaking really, really bad. And luckily, I was able to pull out of the highway to the side where I was throwing up and shaking for a very long time. So this burnout led me to quit my job and explore ways how I can deal with my anxiety and help other people deal with theirs.
So, having a similar issue, we decided to combine our powers to do something about it. So we started asking questions to the people that were close to us, and we met Emily, and she told us that anxiety for her is the out-of-control thoughts that are taking over her mind. She's having a horrible time every time that she wants to go to bed, every single day. Our friend Jose told us that one day he went to ER because he started feeling really tense, and then he started worrying about this tension until a moment that he started overthinking, and then he thought he was literally going to die. So imagine these sensations multiplied by millions. 40 million adults in the US are suffering from symptoms associated with anxiety. Anxiety is overwhelming and can decrease your quality of life, with your life, your relationships, your work, everywhere. There are a lot of approaches out there. There are therapy, meditation, mindfulness, CrossFit, etc., etc., etc. And even applications like Talkspace, they have thousands of users every single day. And you have seen the ads in the subway. But the cost that goes in someone's body and mind are enormous. So we realized that before trying to develop a solution for everybody, we needed to work on a controlled environment. Why? Because we needed to learn the most. And then we asked ourselves, where can we find these people who's been treated and who's doing that? So then we met Abby. Everything started because we interviewed her about her own experience with her anxiety, and then she told us that actually she's a therapist, and she's treating people suffering from mental illnesses, and these people have a lot of troubles functioning in society. And then we were like, oh my God, this is amazing, we have access to everyone, it's good, but then, the health system in America is a little bit complicated, right? And we had to go through an entire process of orientations, criminal background records, they had my fingerprints taken, and then we did it. We became part of the staff of this organization. What's really interesting and so cool. So then we finally had access to community access. The users of this facility have troubles basically with their past, with problems related to substance abuse, homelessness, sexual abuse. So their past is really connected to these memories. And then we realized, okay, so we have a really good opportunity here. We decided that we are not going to try to curate anxiety or even try to fight it back. We are going to learn to relate to it. How are we going to do this? We know that anxiety is happening in our head. This is not tangible. So in order to get to the root of this, we realized that we needed to simplify our approach. We need to create something so simple and so fun. And then we just want these people to feel like children again. Just remember that when feeling was so simple because we used to feel with our senses. So now these tools that we use to perceive the outside world are going to help us to treat our internal one.
So we held a few workshops in community access. We gave them to taste fruits and vegetables and candies. We let them smell oils and herbs. However, the most wondrous thing happened was when they touched. So the touching workshop was pretty simple. All they had to do was close their eyes, and then we went through with them for a little relaxation session. And after that, still with their eyes closed, we gave them a variety of textures, starting from very soft ones to rough ones. And we gave them one by one and asked them to put it on their hands and on their face and really try to absorb that texture. And asked them to pick one that resembles how they feel right now. So we were sure, our assumption was that they would choose the rough textures because anxiety, I mean, come on, it's not cotton candy. But what happened afterwards was so surprising. It was magic. So their brain went away from their anxiety, and literally 100% of our participants chose a texture that resembled a good memory from their childhood. So this is their past we're talking about, the past that led to all those mental illnesses that they have, the past that they have such hard time relating to in measures of good memories. And it was so hard for them, but they did it. So we were pretty confused, and we asked them, why did you choose that texture? And the answer was pretty simple. It feels awesome, and it feels great. Genius. But that didn't convince us yet of why they did it. So we went back to our books and our psychology experts, and we started digging deeper into why that happens. And here it is. So people suffering from anxiety, especially if they've been physically abused, often dull their senses. I mean, it makes sense. And that way they feel less pain. However, they also feel less pleasure. And when given the right time and the right space, when the body concentrates on actually feeling, it can feel, and it triggers the brain to a memory that is associated with that feeling. And that is how forgotten memories just rise up. So for the following week, we gave them the texture and we asked them to touch it as often as they could. And the more they touched it, the more this memory got stronger, and the more that they felt soothed and calm. So let me share with you Marie's story. Marie chose the cotton ball because it reminded her of when her and her sister used to dress up and wear their mother's makeup. So they put the makeup on with the cotton candy. And she said that she chose that because it just made her feel so good and soothed. Memories are elusive, and we wanted to find a way to keep them alive. So, being designers, we know some creative people, and we reached out to really talented illustrators from around the world, telling them about the project. And the enthusiastic ones came along. This is the illustration that Juan made for Marie. And when we gave it to her, it was maybe one of the most touching moments of our lives. She held it like really close to her. And she said the following thing. She said, "All my childhood, I've been raped and abused and molested. Touch was always a horrible thing for me. And this was the first time in my life that I can really enjoy touching. I now know that these memories are my past and that this memory is my new future." So now Marie and 5 other amazing participants from Community Access have these wonderful, wonderful illustrations right by their bed. Abby, the therapist, told us that this has been a tremendous leap to their healing process, and we are so blessed to be part of it. So we wanted to make this accessible for everyone. I mean, let's face it, we all get anxious from time to time. And that's why we created It Makes Sense, an online platform that takes you through 6 really simple steps which help you tap into a forgotten memory. Your story is then sent to a talented illustrator, and it's brought back to you in the form of an art piece. We really recommend that you try it. It's really fun. So in order to get more illustrators on board, we partnered up with an amazing organization called Creative Without Borders. They take nonprofit initiatives and bridge them with creative talents. So thank you very much, guys.
Well, not yet.
All our friends, not yet, all our friends in Community Access have created a new relationship with their anxiety. They have learned to touch and connect with joyful memories.
And for us, it's the first time in our lives that being anxious and worrying is not a big deal, because we have relearned to touch, and we have been touched in return.
So at the end of the day, we all know that life is about the experiences we have and the people that we share it with. Let's touch and connect.
Thank you so much.